What's up, guys? Today we're talking about being eligible for the VA home loan. You may think, well, why are we doing this video? Because there's surprisingly a lot of veterans that think they qualify for a VA home loan, but they actually don't. And then we also have the opposite happen where people think that they don't qualify, but they do. So this video is kind of going to break that down. So without further ado, let's go into it. Now, today's format is going to be a little bit different. We're going to do a PowerPoint so you guys have all the information, because there's just a lot of stuff to go through. So the first key part to this is that you have both eligibility and qualification for a VA loan. You have to have both in order to use it. Today's focus is going to be eligibility. So eligibility is, do you meet the time, you meet the criteria for length of service and character of discharge to use your VA home loan. And we're going to break all of that down as well in the presentation. And the entitlement amount is the amount that you have to use your VA home loan. Separately, coming up, we're going to do a video on how to read your certificate of eligibility and break that down. And a couple of key notes is the VA loan does not pass down to your children, but it can pass down to a spouse if they meet certain criteria, which we're going to go over as well. Now, the thing is, if you are a delinquent on federal debt, you could disqualify yourself from the VA home loan. A good example would that be is that if you are delinquent on student loans, back pay, even if it was like you're in the military, supply, that can cause it. And another piece to that is that if you do take out like an SBA loan, that can also affect your qualification. Lenders pull what's called a Cavers report, and I also did a video on that not too long ago. But the key to all this, even the VA says it, is don't disqualify yourself from the VA home loan. Reach out to the regional loan center because things are always changing. And this will kind of give you a good overview of that qualification. And plus, this is good to pass down to other soldiers or veterans or, surviving spouses, because a lot of times, like I said, they don't even know they can do what they can do with the VA loan in general. Now, the qualification piece, right? You need to meet the credit income standards in order to qualify for a VA loan, right? That's the second part. And that's why you guys should just check out the channel, because a lot of that information is what we're always talking about. So let's talk about the basic eligibility requirements. If you are on active duty, currently serving 90 or more days during wartime, you're already eligible for the VA loan, and 181 days during peacetime. So you join the military 6 months later, you could already use the VA loan. We really don't see too many people using the VA loan that early on in the process. But you might be maybe becoming a little bit older, you may be more established, depending on your rank and how much money you're getting. Obviously you can use the VA loan, so it's pretty cool. If you're a veteran discharged under conditions other than dishonorable, should I say, then you can use the VA home loan. For veterans that have already served and are out, you need 24 months of active duty time, or a full period of which called or ordered to active duty, but not less than 90 days on during wartime, and 181 on peacetime. And the other piece to this is if you had a medical discharge, even if you served for 1 day, you would still be able to get your benefits. Now, this is kind of like an odd one that I've seen now a couple times, thanks to viewers reaching out, where if somebody may have, for example, 100% permanent and total disability rating, but they don't qualify for the VA home loan. So I had recently somebody, came, or I talked with them on one of our live events. They scheduled a call afterwards, because I do actually do all the calls. So again, if you guys schedule a call, you're going to be talking with me. The key to that is that they discharged them under something else and not a medical discharge. So you do need to get a medical discharge. And I'll also be doing a video on how to do upgrades to your DD-214 for your service discharge coming up here in the next week or two. So let's talk about some of the additional requirements. Now, if you served in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine Corps, Coast Guard after September 15th, 1940, but before September 7th, 1980, right, enlisted, and officers have a little bit of a different time frame, then again, it's 90 days or more, as part of which occurred during wartime, or 181 consecutive days. Now, this kind of breaks down the time periods that you have needed to serve during that time. And you'll see sometimes the time periods would be shorter than, like, let's say, the 2-year requirement that you have post this, which we just talked about a little bit ago. So that's why you really need to understand where do you fall into this criteria. And if you do need help getting your DD-214, definitely reach out to the National Archive to be able to get that. But they've also been revamping some of the stuff here. So again, we're going to be doing a video. And all of this stuff is in the VA handbook. So just double check the times that you've served. And if you have parents that serve, this is a great way to help them out. Make sure they get all their benefits that they deserve. Now, the other part for Reserve and National Guard. So this is going to be a little bit different. So now, one thing to remember is that if you serve the active duty and you meet the criteria already to use the VA loan, you're good to go. That supersedes it. So, I'm not sure if you got a medical discharge, how that would work, you joining the Guard from that. But if you got out, did the minimum of the 2 years, you're eligible for your VA loan. You could already use it off the bat. Otherwise, it's going to be 6 years in an active or drilling status, unless, again, this discharge for service-connected disability. You must have an honorable character of discharge. Now, this is different than active duty, where you can have a general and a honorable. You're good to go. In the National Guard, you do need to have an honorable discharge for that. Another key piece to that 6 years that a lot of what happens often, more than it should actually. That doesn't happen like all the time, but it definitely comes up. Is that, like, let's say you did the full 6 years, but you missed an AT, but you never made up for it. So now you don't have enough points to qualify for the VA loan. And then so I joke around, but I'm like, you might as well go back, join, so you can go back for a year just so you can get all your benefits. Because I think it's worth it. But sometimes people wait much later in life to kind of see what benefits they have, and that's kind of where it can bite you in the butt. And we talked about active duty. Now, there was a VA circular 262108 that came out in 2021, which was expanded home loan eligibility based on certain National Guard service. This definitely opened it up, and I did a whole video dedicated to this. If you're full-time, this is when you get called to full-time National Guard duty, including training and other duty. This does not include inactive duties such as like drill months, basic training, or initial training. Typically, any type of training is not going to be included. Now, this is also under Title 32 orders, which is unique, right? Now, this is 316, 502, 503, 504, 505. Easy way to determine this is pull up your NGB orders and take a look at what you fall in under that category. Now, the key, actually, I'll go over that in a second. So no less than 90 cumulative days in full-time National Guard duty, of which at least 30 of those days must be consecutive. So a lot of people, like back during COVID, did the riot, COVID stuff, all of that typically would qualify you for that. And the cool part about this is it's retroactive. So even if you served a while ago, you still be able to qualify. Now, this is the thing with these that I was going to mention, is that we've done a couple of them, and a lot of times veterans will come to us, and they've said, like, I've been denied by 5 or 6 lenders. Like, this is no joke. And that's because they are not submitting the correct paperwork. So when you're running into an issue with your certificate of eligibility, and a lender's helping you out, like, we can do it. You can schedule a call. We'll pull your COE and give it to you. It's super. It takes like literally 5 seconds. But when they don't come back automatically, it just causes some issues. And in general, right, when you're trying to determine your eligibility, the end goal is to get that certificate of eligibility, because that's what actually allows you to execute half of the loan, right? Because you still qualify, but at least you can use that VA home loan. And if a lender doesn't pull it early enough, and you don't get all this documentation early enough, you could jeopardize your home buying process, right? It could be delays, and trust me, sometimes to get a copy of DD-214, because the VA may require it, not in all cases, it could be up to 6 months to get it. So again, it could have a big impact on your transaction and your overall piece to it. But this is why getting those orders and then having your chain of command also be able to write these up is so critical, especially for National Guard members. Now, for surviving spouses, some spouses may qualify to use the VA home loan. Now, a couple criteria as usual. So I'm going to kind of read through these. This is also in the VA handbook. And again, still call the VA to be able to get it connected with them. I'll drop a link down below so you guys can go to the va.gov website and kind of see that. So typically it's gonna be unmarried surviving spouses of a veteran who died as a result of service-connected causes. This is why it's also very important to, if you're a veteran, if you don't delay getting VA disability, I think it's, I just think like if there's something with you, maybe see a doctor, see if they can connect it, at least to get some type of rating, because then you have all those additional benefits of having VA disability that you can transfer on to your spouse and children. But again, the VA home loan is a pretty phenomenal one, and we've helped a lot of surviving spouses use the VA home loan because the veteran did what they could in order to secure that transfer. The other part is surviving spouse of a veteran who dies on active duty or from service-connected causes, or who remarries on or after age 57 or on after December 16, 2013, and spouse of an active duty member who is listed MIA or POW for at least 90 days and limited to one-time use only. So that's the only time where you're going to have really a one-time use, because with the VA loan, because we do a lot of education around this, obviously, it's unlimited benefit. You can unuse it unlimited times, but in this specific case, there may be some people out there that still are able to qualify for this, especially from like Vietnam War. All right, surviving spouse of veterans who died from a non-service connected causes may also be eligible in certain cases. This is why, again, you want to reach out to the VA. And if you're filing for the first time, you need to complete a VA Form 26-1817. I'm going to drop that link down below for you guys. So you can, for the video that I did just covering all surviving spouses, because there's a lot of things to the benefit. As usual, do not disqualify yourself. Reach out. We're happy to walk you through it. And we just need to keep passing this information on and educating other veterans and military families around the VA home loan benefits, because it is such a powerful tool to utilize. So I'll catch you guys soon on the next video. Make sure you guys smash that like and subscribe button, and I'll talk to you soon.